Right, so we're back again. So yeah, as everyone knew, really disappointing game today. Really disappointing. I just saw that out for you guys. Hang on, give me a second. Oh bloody hell, shambles. We're just rushing it today. That. Cool. Right, so 7-1 Coventry away. Really appalling result it is. Especially for new man Julian Stefan. So from the first minute, we have no doubt he's just gonna say we were shit. That was it. We were shit completely. I would say you're at QPR way high again. How are you? I would say looking at the stats, it's gonna be correct, 100%. Now the predicted lineup that I put out yesterday completely different. I just thought we were lacking in different areas which were really bad. We did. I'm just gonna get this up actually. The stats is more important for me to just check out right now, so I can obviously read that for you guys. So if I go to right, cool. So yeah, Coventry were on it from the first minute. Our defending was really bad, appalling. Steve Cook and Morrison, and I would say Escudino were all weak at the back. It wasn't great whatsoever. A lot needs to be worked on compared to obviously other games, Watford and Preston and Plymouth Argyle. We want to throw that in there as well. But the defending was really bad. The passing was really bad. There was no communication with any of the players whatsoever. The forward line, in my opinion, is just too weak. That way they did it was way too weak. Colley, Burrell, and Dembele. Dembele is the strongest player there for us, and Burrell I think would be better as a left winger, and we should have put Sella in the middle instead of Colley playing. There's a lot to learn, Julian. There is a lot to learn from him. He's got a lot to do for the next game. We can't go on like 7-1, right? Kone did score, which obviously huge congratulations to him for scoring his first goal for the club in his second game. But that can't happen again. That cannot happen again. 7-1 cannot happen again. It's too bad, too much. It needs to be. We need to understand the idea that we saw at the start of Preston. He said to us, "We'll see it. I will see what we can do." And Preston game, we saw it. We were more attacking at home. We went straight in, and yeah, we were missing players. We were missing players today, like Chair, obviously some other players, but it shouldn't really matter in the sense of where if we have backup players to use, then we should use them. We should. Maybe the formation didn't work well for obviously what we were working on, but what I saw, Steve Cook was a problem. Joe Walsh was a problem. Joe Walsh, it's time for Nardi to go back in goal. I don't hate Joe Walsh, but I prefer Nardi. He's more of an excellent keeper. Otherwise, Nardi might as well just go to Leicester City. Steve Cook needs to be on the bench. It's hard to see it because he was great for us, like I said last season, great for us. But since his injury, he's been appalling. He hasn't been able to hit the heights like he did at the start of his QPR career. And I believe Mbengu should have played that game. And Mbengu and Morrison with probably Adamson and Jimmy Dunn, or Jimmy Dunn on the left and Adamson on the right, whatever he wants to do. But I felt like that could have, against Coventry away, that was the strongest side that we could put out in defence, with Nardi in goal. Now, midfield wise, Varane didn't seem there like he usually does. Like I said, every player was miscommunicating, not communicating. The Arsenal have announced Eze. Okay, that's big. Obviously I need to have a look at that. It's probably because of Arsenal are playing Leeds in that next, which I'm gonna watch that after this. But yeah, the lack of communication in midfield and creativity to the forwards were not great. Field and Kieran Morgan need to do a lot better. Varane, don't know what to say about Varane because he's got to communicate with defense a lot more, and Steve Cook needs to communicate with his keeper. Forward line, that shouldn't have been the way it was. It should have been Dembele, Burrell on the left and Salah up front, or Collie on the left and Salah up front. Burrell, to me, looking at the ratings here, so Joe Walsh got a 4.3. Absolutely should be worse than 4.3 in my opinion. He was really appalling today. Wasn't there in the game whatsoever. Jimmy Dunn, like the whole of the back four, Jimmy Dunn 5.6, Liam Morrison 5.9, Steve Cook 5.6, Escudina 5.8. So Escudina got the highest with Morrison. So they're saying Jimmy Dunn and Cook were the awfulest ones in the back four. Varane got a 6.4 in midfield, and Field got a 5.8. Kieran Morgan 5.4, Collie 6.3, Dembele 6.3, Burrell 6.3. Now Burrell, I think, should have been in like a less than a 6.3. Collie less than a 6.3, less than a 6.4 for Dembele. Are you a Fogden fan? They are watching Arsenal Leeds and they have just announced this. I'm not a Fogden fan, unfortunately. Sorry. Yeah. So there needs to be serious changes in the next game against is it Wrexham, I believe. I think we got Wrexham next, don't we? Let me have a look. QPR. Where's QPR? Queen's Park Rangers. So our next game is tell a lie, Charlton next week at home. So we're at home at 12:30 on Sky against Charlton next week, and this performance needs to be put behind us, and we need to come out with a new idea to basically understand where we're gonna go, because today, like you get certain players like Radani that needs to be watched, and then their front three is like championship best. You got who did you have today? Let's go on Birmingham. Who did you have? You had not Birmingham, Coventry City, which are third. So you had Wright, Clark, Radani, and Asante. Four of the best forwards or attacking midfield and forwards in the league. You gotta watch them in defense, man. So honestly, it's one of them things where it's we need the left back Norrington Davis when he comes in, cool. But we need Mbengu and Morrison on there, or Mbengu and someone else. I generally can't wait till Clark Salter gets back to see what he does. But we need Kone up front for sure. Burrell is not working. Either use Salah, put Burrell on the wings, because Burrell is not a middleman in my opinion. He's either a right winger or a left winger. Collie, I don't know what to say about him, to be honest. He's not performing like he was last season, so yeah. Also flying, that's now 3 wins out of 3 and 9 points. I'd honestly love them back in Premier League. Dan Preston or Fender are flying. They've beaten 2 out of 3 favourites, get promoted for the Championship. They're best Leicester. So yeah, as you say, Leicester and Stoke are doing well. So yeah, Leicester and Stoke. So you've got Stoke, Middlesbrough, Coventry, West Brom are doing well, Birmingham. And we were pretty much interested in the West Brom manager, but I didn't think we was going to get him anyway. But we're in the relegation zone. But yeah. Positives. To be honest, there was no positives. No positives in that game whatsoever. I'm trying to think if there was. We're looking at it. Okay, second half. After about 70 minutes, when we brought on some other players, we looked a bit better. We looked like we was pushing up the field a bit more. But like Julian said last week, it's got to be attack, attack, attack all the time for 90 minutes. It can't be in sections, It's going to be very interesting to see what Julian Stefan says in the conference, and it's very interesting to see what the players think and say as well. So what are your thoughts? Leave a comment and what you think of the game. In my opinion, it's a shambles, but let's put it here. Let's put it behind us, and let's go to the next game. Hopefully at home we get the result, and we push on, we move on, and we work hard on training to get us better. Apparently we play Middlesbrough as well. I don't know when we play Middlesbrough. I'm not sure. But yeah. But like I said, a lot of work needs to be done. It does. For the next game, it's one of them things where in football you're gonna lose games like this, but it can't happen again. Once a year, once a season, okay, but if this happens again, it's not going to be good for the fans. The fans are going to turn on Julian, 100%. Kydom Jam, noise. You have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Much love. Have a great day though. But yeah, the fans will turn on Julian if it happens again. But for what I think, it's not going to happen again. He's got to learn from this, and he's got to go and say, do you know what? I made the wrong decisions, and go from there. Commiserations, guy. Good luck for the rest of the season. Cheers, Mick. You too. Have a good day as well. But yeah, we need to go into the next game with straightaway attacking mentality. We need to be up the field pressing like we did against Preston in the first half. That's how well we can do. But the last couple of games have not been great. You know, this game, it was all Coventry completely first half. We was defending. As you can see with the stats up on there, like we look at the stats, get the stats up, statistics. So ball possession, 53 to 47. Okay, it's not that bad, but at the start of the game, it was awful. It was really bad, and obviously, chance wise, they've had 19 shots, we've had 10. Out of all the saves that he's made out of 7-1, he's only made one save, Joe Walsh. That's shit defending and shit keeping. It needs to change. Corner kicks, obviously that's not important in my opinion. Passes, they've had more passes. Yeah, listen, look, Lampard's team is a wing play team. You know, they get their goals from set pieces and crosses into the box on wing play. So passing wise, they're going to pass it a lot more to the wings. Tackle wise, we've had 90 tackles to 9 to them. Like, we had 2 yellow cards today. Man of the match was probably going to be Radani or Wright, one of them players. So yeah, good luck to them in the future. But yeah, for me, I just want to see a lot better, a lot more commitment, a better squad in the next game. Hopefully, we can bring in Koki Sato in the next couple of days and Davis. As long as they don't change their mind about QPR now. But if we bring them in, it should help the club move on. We need to go in the transfer market and get a midfielder and a centre back probably to work on. But I believe we got to get a result against got to get a result on the weekend against Charlton Athletic. We need to play a proper striker. We can't play Burrell. Burrell's not going to do it for us. We need to play him on the wing. You know, we need to play a Seller up front or someone like that. Hopefully Chair is back. Chair was injured today. I do live in Loftus Road, mate. Yeah, I do. But yeah, we got a lot to work on. It's start of the season. That's the promising thing for me. It's start of the season. It's a bad result, and we move on. We keep going. But if it continues, we will get agitated, and we will probably do. You know, get him. We want him out. You know, but first game, like obviously third game of the season, appalling result, worst result that we've had for a while. So yeah, let's think positive. Let's go to the next game and try. Hopefully he makes his decisions and understands the team. You know, hopefully he's getting adjusted into the championship gameplay, game style, and he puts a good team out. Hopefully Chair's back, Sato, a more experienced left back, and we get in there, we go attacking, we pass the ball a lot better, and you know, we score goals. That's what I want to see from QPR in the next game. We need a result of a clean sheet, and we need also Nardi in goal, and we also need to basically score 5 goals next game, in my opinion, to say sorry about this result. This result was a shambles. But yeah, We got a transfer window coming to the end, so maybe some more players, like I said. But hopefully I covered everything from the game. Like I said, lack of passing, lack of communication. We've got to work harder on the ball to push up field in away games, and we need to make sure we play the right players in positions that are their strength. Because I don't think Burrell is a striker, a middleman. I think he's a winger. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone think anything want to say in the comments? Feel free to say anything really. What needs to be improved? What obviously you saw, obviously probably everyone's going to say Nardi in goal, but yeah, I would say Nardi definitely needs to go in goal next after that shambles from Joe Walsh today. And obviously we can't just put the blame on him. We've got to put defense as well, so he's got to fix something in the defense, and hopefully Steve Bold and all the others in there, the back room, can work on something and get something done before Charlton at home. So yeah, another appalling, like I said, another bad result. We haven't won a game yet this season, so hopefully it changes, and we'll go from there. So yeah, we're gonna leave it there for today. We are. That is pretty much everything covered for the game. I think there's not much to really say because it was a shit game. It was all Coventry. So my applaud goes out to Coventry. Thank you, Coventry fans, for tuning in and going from there, and QPR fans, I should say. But yeah, Coventry look like they're going to be a dominant team this season, especially after the recent results and this result. So yeah, good luck to Coventry. But we need to be on it next game. Yeah. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully I can probably say a lot of things are a bit better and keep it a little bit longer stream. If it wasn't a bad result, if it was a good result, maybe we could do something a bit better. But yeah, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna catch the Arsenal game anyway and watch that. And yeah, we'll catch you next week sometime. Latest news or pre-match. We'll see what happens and we'll go from there. But yeah, today 7-1. Really appalling result. It needs to be improved. So yeah, but everyone hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great day.